Hey, howdy, hey, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 4, Episode 6. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to hit that like button, comment down below what you thought about this episode, and hit that subscribe button. Come join the Amateur Hour community. And without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright, so, for today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Dragula Season 4, Episode 6, the Hairy Monsters Challenge. So, let's get right on into it. This was a fun episode. I really enjoyed it. Now that Mary and Bitter Betty are both gone, the drama seems to have died down a decent amount. I don't necessarily know if it was just conflicts they had with other competitors. I don't know what the issue was, but it does seem like the drama has died down a decent amount in this episode. So that was a kind of refreshing and nice to see. But we're gonna get right on into it. Obviously the episode starts off with some of the monsters walking back into the boudoir. So obviously we have Saint, Dolly, Saint, Dolly, Sigourney, and Jade already in the boudoir, and they're waiting for the other monsters to return and trying to figure out who will be returning. Basically automatically assumed that Zavala's gonna be back, and that was correct. Obviously Zavala was the first one to come back, and then they're speculating that Hoso will probably be back, and Hoso comes back pretty quickly as well, which again does mean Bitter Betty was the one who left last week. So it's sad to see Bitter go, but she definitely was getting into her head more and more with the competition. It was an interesting, the way that the other monsters were looking at it, with the way that Bitter was dealing with things and trying to cope with the competition, I guess the way I would put it. I don't know, everyone deals with pressure differently, and I think that would just, the pressure is getting to Bitter, and I think that's part of the problem. So that happens. They talk about that. They also congratulate Sigourney for her win last week, because obviously last week when Sigourney did win, no one really congratulated Sigourney because everyone was all like, there was a lot of drama obviously last week during the cauldron. So it was nice to have that moment. Also, Zavala apologizes to Jade and Sigourney, which is really nice to see. It was nice to see Zavala just trying to be really respectful and honor the fact that they're all artists and that they're ultimately all there to compete. It's not their place to judge one another. Anyways, so that all happens. That was all really nice to see. Really positive energy, you know. Yeah. Then we get to them going on the main stage, where the Boulet brothers are going to introduce the main challenge, where the monsters are going to have to get into Hairy Monster Drag. I did enjoy the the reference to Eva Destruction. I thought that was a cute little nod there. And I love the idea for the challenge of Hairy Monster. Again, trying to incorporate more of the filth and horror in my perspective, because we haven't had much in terms of challenges where you get much opportunity to do that. So it's nice to see them trying to open that up more, I guess. Yeah. They introduce the main challenge. They all also have a bunch of wigs to style that they can use to create their looks for fur or different things like that. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and get back into the boudoir, where it's becoming pretty apparent that Jade is not been, or is that the next day? That was the next day. They're all going through the wigs. Sigourney's trying to get a wig on Dolly, which was funny. It was a funny moment. They're all just playing around with the wigs. It's all fun and good and everything. Then, yeah, that was about it for that day. Honestly, it was all positive vibes. Pretty much the first day was really refreshing. Then we get to the next day, obviously, where they're actually putting together their looks. And right off the bat, Jade is very much so in their head, not really. Jade is going through it. Jade recently had to put down their loved pet over FaceTime, and I can only imagine what that would be like. That sounds traumatizing. Like, that sounds awful. It feels so bad for Jade in that moment. Like, that's awful. I feel so bad for her. Then we also get a moment with Dolly and Saint, although I think that was actually yesterday. But anyways, Dolly and Saint were talking about resurrection, or Saint was talking about resurrection and how they won and how they feel so much pressure, also being the one black individual left in the competition, which was interesting. I feel like Saint is putting a lot of pressure on themselves, and I hope that Saint can get out of their head with that, because Saint brings it every week, you know, like, ultimately Saint, I love Saint, and like, Saint on this season, I think is bringing some really, really great looks, and like Dolly was saying, they just want Saint to try different things with their performance, because it like, Dolly really nailed it on the head with that, when Dolly was like, you're very ethereal with your performance, and they want more. They want you to try being more monster, more like, they want, type thing. And I'm like, I get that. I see what Dolly is saying there. Again, I really like Dolly, and I feel like everything Dolly says on the show is correct, if we're being honest. Yeah, I don't know, they're all getting into their drags, doing the things, talking about what they're gonna do. Honestly, I'd rather just get to the floor show, and I'll talk about the looks and give you my opinions on these looks. I'm gonna go in order of my least favorite to my favorite for this, obviously. Obviously? Sure. First, I'm gonna talk about Zavala. For me, this was probably my least favorite look on the floor show, because it just felt a little bit too simple. I understand what the Boulets were saying later in the show, where Zava performed really well with it, and I get that, but for the look, it just wasn't at the level that I wanted it to be. Next, I'm gonna include Jade Jolie. I like this a lot. Again, Jade relies on the props, like I've been saying, and I feel like for this challenge, I really wanted to bring out the monster, and I feel like that Jade didn't necessarily live up to the level that she needed to. Again, maybe that's just me, like, I wish Jade had pushed themselves further and done more with it. It wasn't bad, I just wish I wanted more. Next for me is going to be Sigourney Beaver. I like the look. I liked the wig a lot, and I like the fur all on their legs and everything. I just, like the Boulets were saying, I wish Sigourney had pushed the filth more, because we have gotten similar silhouette from Sigourney every week. I love Sigourney, I just feel like we've gotten a similar silhouette, and this would have been a really fun opportunity to really just surprise the judges and surprise the audience and everyone, and just bring something really different. I thought that would have been a really great opportunity for that. I still really liked it. I thought it was a really well put together look. I just wanted something different. Yeah, I wanted something different. Next for me is going to be Saint. I liked Saint's look a lot. Again, what Dolly was talking about earlier with the ethereal aspects to Saint's drag, I saw that very much so with this. Obviously with the pan flute and the overall look, I really liked it. I just wanted Saint to really, furry monster, I wanted to see a monster, and I feel like I didn't really get monster as much for me, and I wanted more of that. I really liked it, though. I thought this was really, really cool. I loved the hooves. I loved the makeup. Like, it was a really well put together look. I just wanted more. Especially at this point in the competition. Just my own perspective on that. For me, in second place, I'm going to put Hoso Teratoma, the Mothman look. I thought that was really cool, really a unique perspective. I loved all the colors. I loved the beard with the Mothman. I thought that was really fun. It was a really big costume, and it was really very much a unique perspective that Hoso brings to this competition, and I love Hoso in this competition. I liked it a lot. I really, really did. They performed really well in it. So, for me, in first place is going to be Dolly. I think Dolly should have won this episode, if we're being honest. Dolly brought the monster. And again, for me, it was furry monsters. I wanted to see monsters on that stage. And Dolly was really performing as a monster and really bringing it. And I loved it. So Dolly was amazing for me. Now when we're going to talk about the judges. Obviously, this week we got Landon Sider as a guest judge. I love seeing Landon on the show. I love Landon. Landon was such a great winner for Dragula Season 3, and I love that we got to see him back on the show. Like, I loved Landon. And the Boulets, I like their looks. I like the wig. It's really, really big, which is fun. I love the nose, fake nose septum piercing, I think was fake. I don't know. It's cool. Yeah, for the judges, I really liked seeing all of them. Now we're going to get to the judges' critiques and where things go from there. According to the Boulets, obviously no one's safe because we're at this point in the competition where it's top 6. First things first. Then they're going to go through the monsters, give them critiques. But I'm going to go and give the placements because I kind of already gave my own critiques on this. In terms of placements, I think the tops this week were Saint, Dolly, and Hoso, and obviously in the end, the Boulets did choose Hoso as the winner, so congrats to Hoso on winning your first challenge. Very, very, very well deserved. Saint wanted the win as well, obviously, and was upset about that, but hey, I think Hoso brought it a little bit more than Saint. I still love Saint's love, just a little bit more. And then, obviously, the bottom 3 are Sigourney, Zavala, and Dolly, or no, not Dolly, Jade. So in the end, the Boulets do decide to save Zavala. So the bottom 2 are going to be Jade and Sigourney, who end up having to go to the Extermination Challenge, which again is a cockroach challenge, related challenge, but we'll get to that later. So they did the critiques, then they go into the cauldron and talk about things. Again, Sigourney's a little upset about being in the bottom, but Sigourney takes it well, I think. And I feel like she respects the Boulets so much that she's gonna listen, and I feel like she listens really well. And Jade was going through it, and Jade really told the rest of the monsters how they had to put down their cat and like all the trauma that they basically went through over FaceTime call. Like, that sounds awful. Trauma might be a bit dramatic, but you know what I'm trying to say there. Like, that's a rough thing to go through. So that kind of explained why Jade was off this entire week, which is completely fair. So yeah. Now we're gonna get to this Extermination Challenge, where again they had to go into like a closet-like room and get covered in cockroaches, having cockroaches fall from the ceiling on their hair, their heads, crawling all over their bodies, and they just had to stay there as long as they could, pretty much. This was an interesting Extermination Challenge. For me, this is much more of what I was expecting from Dragula for an Extermination Challenge, so I enjoyed this. I thought the cockroaches, like, I just can't imagine going through that, like, that, ugh. It gives me some, like, ugh. But at the same time, I probably could have done that one if I needed to. I don't know. Overall, though, I thought this was a fun Extermination Challenge. It's fun to see. Yeah, obviously, in the end, the Boulets do decide to exterminate Jade Jolie, which means Jade Jolie is not going to be returning next week. Again, I think with Jade's time to go, I'm not too surprised by this. I really like Jade on the show, but I definitely think it was her time to go. So now we are at a top 5 with Hoso, Saint, Zavala, Sigourney, and Dolly, which is definitely a very strong top 5. So I'm going to be very curious to see who goes home next. Obviously, we will have to wait and see next week for the episode, but I'm super excited for it. Let me know what you thought about this episode down below in the comments section. Make sure to like this video if you liked it. Share this all over social media. Share it with your Dragula pals, your friends, your enemies, all the above. And yeah, your fellow monsters, you know, all those things. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at SamateurHour. And again, hit that subscribe button, and I will be back here probably tomorrow with another video. Bye, guys.